Greetings. This is a quick demonstration of the proposal software just to make sure that everyone is aligned with the functionality and to tease out any bugs or areas for enhancement. So to get started, we double click on the program.xlsm folder, and this will bring us to the main menu triggered by VBA macros. So from here, since this is the very first time, we would go to admin settings. And this is where we can set up the logo and any terms and conditions text that we want to be appended to the end of the proposals. So to get started, for my logo, I'll just go to my icons folder that came bundled with the tool, actually images folder. And here I just have a logo bundled within here, just titled as logo.jpg. But again, this could be any image file that exists on your local machine in any directory. I just happen to have an example one here. So I'll copy this relative path so that we remember it. And then when we come back to the tool, we can paste that path in. And this can actually be tweaked a little bit to make this a little bit more automated. And I'll type in the name, it's logo.jpg. And then this is just some terms and conditions text that would go at the end of the proposal. I can leave that as it is, or we can add some additional text as we need it. This is totally free text. We can press enter to create additional lines and add anything that we need. And then we'll save the values. Those entries have been saved to the backend Excel file. Now you can always see those entries because they technically exist as part of the main tab. So you can see here we have the terms in B6. That entry is there. And the company logo is always stored in cell address B12, I believe it is. So this is B16 and this is B12. So let's go back here to manage materials to get started. And we're blank. We have no material set up in the system. So let's set some HVAC materials up. So I'll select HVAC, and you can see here at the bottom left-hand corner that we are indeed on the HVAC module. So I'll just add some entries. Let's say that the barcode of the first item that I want to enter is all ones, but this could be anything that you scan or type in. And let's just call it HVAC widget 1. And description B, this is optional for these fields, but let's add in some. This is some sample text. Okay, and let's set the price for this HVAC widget 1 to $9.99. And let's create new items. So since no items currently exist, we don't want to click Save Updates. We want to create new. So we'll click Create New. And new entry was saved. So now we can see that there's one entry that exists as part of this HVAC module. Let's add another item just for simplicity's sake and for completeness. So let's make sure that we're back on the HVAC tab or module, and let's enter another barcode. This one will be all twos, just as an example. And let's call this HVAC widget 2. And let's say if the price is $19.99 for that item. And let's save the updates by creating new. And new entry was saved. So now we see that we have two items here. It didn't overwrite. We actually have two individual items, and those entries are actually mirrored in the back end. If you peek at the Excel file, you can see that you have two entries, two different rows that are governing what's displayed here. So let's just add another one for home entertainment. Same thing, click on home entertainment. We're now in the home entertainment module. Let's add some entries, 333, and let's just call this item 1. And let's say that it costs $59.99, and let's create new. So the new entry was saved. So now in home entertainment, we have that item here listed. So let's back out to the main menu. So let's create a new proposal. We come to new proposal, we'll select tasks, we'll choose the HVAC module, and we can see there's our widget 1 and there's our widget 2. Now again, remember, it's only showing text because we haven't set up images for these particular widgets. The images are automatically pulled in based on the name of the item. So if we happen to have a JPEG file called HVAC widget 1 and another one called HVAC widget 2, it would actually show up here. So let's actually do that just as an example. So let me pause the screen very quickly so I can get to a proper location, then we'll resume. So we're back. So as part of this quick and dirty example, I have an image that I want to represent HVAC widget 1. I'm just using Microsoft Paint right now, but these could be standard product images that you already have as part of your catalog. So I want to make sure that I want this image to be assigned to HVAC widget 1. So I'll just make sure that I save it appropriately. So I'll save it as a JPEG, and let's save it to the proper location. Let's save it to the location of where we're housing the tool. So within the folder, there's a subfolder called images, and let's remember to save this as HVAC widget 1. Now you could do this all ahead of time to make sure that you have all your images set up. So that image now exists as part of the system, and the tool should be able to read it. So let's back out of this. And now let's go back into New Proposal and choose Tasks, HVAC. And now immediately we see that because it can translate and read HVAC widget 1, and it can find an associated JPEG, it pulls the JPEG or the image in as priority. If you do not have the image, then it's just going to show the text. But either way, the button works the same. So as part of this task list, I choose HVAC, and let's say I want to add this item. We can see there it is, HVAC widget 1. There was the barcode number, and that's the price. And I can add a bunch of them, and we can see that the prices will continue to tally. Now the same thing for widget 2. It doesn't have an image, but it's still there in the system, and you can see that it tallies up. Now I can always jump in and out of different tasks while I'm adding items to this particular build. And let's go to electrical, and we have nothing there. Let's see if we have anything in security. We have nothing there. And let's go to home entertainment, and there's the item 1 that we created. Now, similarly, this one doesn't have an image associated with it, so it's just a text, but we could easily have an image assigned to this. Let's add 2 of those. 2 of those item 1s were added, and we can see they're at a price of $299.89. At this point, we have a proposal ID automatically generated by the system, and we can click Create Proposal. Now, before we click Create Proposal, one of the things that I probably neglected to mention is that during the installation of the tool, there's a folder. If we come here to where the tool is housed, you come in here, there's a folder called Proposal Template. Now, depending on the security restrictions on your machine, it may or may not be reading this Proposal Template folder. This Proposal Template has the Word files that are ready to accept the content from the interface. So that if you're not getting any Word document populated, it's probably because your system isn't reading this Proposal Template folder. So to fix that, we can just copy this folder and place it directly on your C drive. If you place it directly on the root of your C drive, the system will automatically read it as opposed to it being at that custom location. So that's something that I would want anyone to try that is not getting a proposal generated. So now I have this folder existing on the root of my C drive. Let's back out of it. Let's go back to the interface and let's click Create Proposal. And let's give it a second to process. It should find the proposal template and carry over the entries as appropriate. So we're back to the main menu, and we can now see at the bottom that we have a Word document open, and here is our proposal that was automatically generated. These are the items that we clicked a bunch of times and added, and here are the actual quantities and the prices associated with it. We have the grand total. Let's make this a little bit bigger. We have all the standard text that was pulled in, and our terms and conditions. Now remember, this is the sample text that we just had as part of the admin menu, but this is where you would really have your full terms and conditions text, and that's user maintainable by yourself. So again, let's close out of here, and now we're instantly brought back to the main menu, and all of our items are still there, and our proposal is generated. Now the proposals are automatically saved to the location of the tool. Let's go to it. Okay. So now we're at the folder location, and you can see within the program's folder structure, any new proposals will automatically be saved here. So we can see the one that we just generated is listed here. So likewise, if I was to create another one, let's just come back into here, choose tasks, choose home entertainment, a bunch of item 1s, we see the price, quickly click Create Proposal. And then that proposal generated, and here it is. There's the proposal. Let's close out. And let's just verify again that it's saved to the right location. We come here, and then we can see there's our next proposal. So it will incrementally add new proposals to this particular folder. So that functionality does seem to be working as needed. So when it comes to any other functionalities, such as new proposal, and let's choose Create Custom Task, this is where you're not selecting items that are tied to a particular module. You just want to quickly add items a la carte, one by one, to a particular task sheet that you can then print out. So these are all of the items that currently exist within the system. We've added those 2 widgets before, and we've added the item 1. They're not separated by their module. They're just shown here in a listing. So that may be something we want to tweak if any questions arise about that. But this allows you to quickly choose items and add them to a task and assign minutes to them. I think the ask was to assign an associated amount of man hours or minutes to each individual item, and then have it tallied at the end. So let's say that this widget 1 will cost us 30 minutes to actually do, and item 2 will cost us 45 minutes. Item 1 rather costs us 45 minutes. And we can see those things are automatically tallied to a 75-minute total for this custom task. And now let's generate this task list document. We'll click there, give it a second to process just like the proposal. And the Word document was created. Now if we come to the bottom, we can see that here's our custom task sheet that was generated. So we have all of our standard information, and then these are the items that were added to the custom task sheet. So my assumption is that this individual sheet would then be passed off to someone to say, okay, these are the items as part of that custom task. But if we need to tweak this particular functionality, it can be very easy to do so. Just need some more, detailed requirements around that. But the functionality of the base framework of the tool, I think we're in a good spot with it, and it does seem to be doing what we're doing. We may just want to add a few little nuts and bolts here and there to tie it all together. But let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.